Hello, fellow watchers and enjoyers. Third time attempted recording this episode of the podcast. It's episode 71, and it's obviously the Watching Walford podcast. Today's episode is going to cover the biggest storylines and takeaways from week 17 of 2024, all the episodes from the 6th of May all the way to the 9th. The main stories are Stevie gets to know the family, George continues to spiral, Whitney and Zach are getting married, and finally Patrick and Yolande's two-hander, which will probably make up the bulk of the podcast. So,
and maybe us discussing mental health around George.
Yes.
Maybe. Because they're going to be serious. And this is our third time recording it, so Ash's going to just hear me talk about the things I talked about in the first two times.
I suppose a preemptive, we didn't do this the first two times, you forgot. Obviously, trigger warning, we'll be discussing sexual assault in this, and we'll probably be discussing mental health pretty vigorously. So, if any of those may be upsetting to you, that is a trigger warning for you. Yeah, so we recorded the first podcast, hour 40. Great podcast. Fucking in depth of everything. 1 hour 40. All right, first press stop recording. And then the power goes off. But I pressed the button, so I'm like, maybe it'll be safe. It was not saved. It was corrupt. I'm like, fuck's sake. And then, went, fuck it. All right, we'll have to just re-record it. We'll just have to redo it. And about 20 minutes in, boom, power's gone again. It's like, all right, sound. So Thursday doesn't want the podcast to be done. But now it's third attempt, so hopefully this one we fucking get through in one piece. But yeah, usual format, this podcast. I don't know if we'll stick to the 30-minute then the rest, because it's squeaky bum time, lads. I've just gotta go with the flow of this one. I don't want to go on for half an hour about shit, and then suddenly it's like, well, and it's all been corrupted again. Sound. So we'll play it by ear this time. But yeah, how you doing, mate? How you been?
I'm doing good. Ash was like, I don't want to record on Friday. Okay, I'll record on Friday, and I just hit him up.
I wasn't like, fuck you. Come on, be reasonable.
Yeah, no, I know you want like fuck you. I was just saying.
And it's not wrong. I don't want to record on Friday. It's an absolute luxury because the way that the weekend works for me is Friday is my Saturday, except I get to have Friday by myself. Fucking great stuff, amazing. Fucking then the Saturday's the Sunday, then the Sundays are shit. So just keep it real.
We have thought of an idea where we're gonna record the podcast together with two systems doing it. So it'll be my end and Ash's end. So obviously my end will be a lot clearer when you hear me, and Ash's end will be a lot clearer because you'll hear his end quicker. So it'll depend on.
I mean, as long as the audio's like fucking done the same.
No. I mean, like my screen, I'll be louder, and on your screen, you'll be louder. Is what I'm trying to say.
I don't think so, mate.
I thought that's how audio works.
That's not how audio works. If you have it all set up with the same levels, it will be the exact same.
Fair enough. But yeah, I'm doing good. Third time's the charm. I just can't wait to talk about this topic I was going to talk about, and then it gets fucking corrupted again, and then I have to redo it again, gets corrupted again, and then I have to redo it, and it gets corrupted again.
And then I'm just like deleted.
Again.
Just kidding, of course. That's a joke, of course.
It did happen.
Yeah, we did get deleted by YouTube once. They thought we were spamming because we'd post 2 videos a week, and then we went from posting like 2 videos a week to like 4. Oh no, I think it was the 39th anniversary or the 38th or whatever, and it's like bloody hell, you guys spamming this channel. We only fucking uploaded like 4 videos, you melts.
Yeah, and that was funny because that was our first time dealing with YouTube. We were going to start all over again, but we didn't. And yeah, but what I wanted to talk about was, Ash, Ash, you pretend to be shocked when you hear this?
Oh, fucking hell. Didn't care about the first 2 times.
Yeah, well, buckle in because you might have to repeat it 2 more fucking times. Did you know there's a TV show called Baby Reindeer? I haven't seen it. I've seen an art. I've seen an article. I've watched a video. It's for context. It's basically a woman was obsessed with this man. She was very obsessed with him, all because he bought her a cup of tea. Basically, gave her a cup of tea at first in the pub. He had no friends, and he just hung around with her. Like he just hung around her because he was thinking, oh, it'd be a nice gesture, it'd be a nice gesture. And then she obviously thought, oh fuck, he's he's a nice man. And then she kept harassing him and harassing him. Again, went to the family, he's in hospital. And then obviously that led to him being like, get the fuck away from my family. And then she just started sending him voicemails after voicemails after voicemails. And then that pretty much led to him going to court and also threatening her, where he threatens her. And then it's like EastEnders. It turns out she's been recording him threatening her. And she goes to the police, drops the charges. And then we come back. He has now somehow finally got the court to like see that she's not a wrong person. Or she's a wrong person because she's obviously stalking. And basically she goes down 4 or 5 years, I believe, for stalking. And obviously in the show, and this also relates to real life because I do agree with this sentiment. He did state, please do not look for these people. And obviously, the internet being the internet, oh fuck, there was a stalker. Oh, let me just you see the thing about that is, wouldn't it be funny if I just uploaded the information and basically these internet detectives were basically, because this woman was a bit obese, she was a bit fat, nothing wrong with it, you could be a bit chubby, you would be all grand, and basically they just started picking up random people from Scotland or England, going, they're fat, they're clearly the stalker, and they're a woman.
Absolutely unreasonable behaviour.
And then basically, to wrap this all up, basically the real stalker has come out. Is going to sue Netflix, and Piers Morgan behind the camera. Fuck, I could get in on this. And now he's bringing her on that talk show, and it's gonna be interesting because I don't know how you can fucking defend yourself against stalking. You can't just be like, yeah.
But it was a bad time. I will say the only third time the charm, I actually have something moderately interesting to say about this. Not even this, just something vaguely tangentially related. I think it was a story how Edward Patterson, the guy who played Vampire Twilight, was in the Batman. It wasn't Harry Potter. Apparently, he had a stalker, and the way that he fucking convinced this stalker to stop being obsessed with him is he took her on a date and was the absolute worst human being possible and hammed up everything. So it's like, there's no, if you like me now, shit's fucked. But took her on a date and was the worst piece of shit you've ever seen, which is absolutely banter, honestly. Yeah, it could be dangerous, but fucking absolute fucking. It's one of those really risky ones where if it works, great. If it doesn't, well, shit.
I mean, you'd give it a try, wouldn't you? You'd be like, fuck it, it'd be interesting. I think you just realise it's fucked up because then you're digging into their moralities, basically. And stalking is a very rare thing, and I don't like it. No one likes stalking, I don't think. But on a slight note of stalking, do you remember the crazy clowns from 2016? They were hanging around schools. Yeah, them clown people. They would hide in bushes and shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
Felt like it was a publicity stunt, right? It had to be. It came out at the time. Felt like it had to be a marketing stunt.
Well, you look at it and you look at the internet. Some people took it as a publicity stunt, and some people went, fuck it, that'd be a funny idea to do around kids, wouldn't it? Just fucking jump out of the bus with a knife, fucking stab you now if you don't give me £5 for the bus. And then,
classic banter. Classic clown behaviour. No one's paying for my bus fare, kid. Fucking pay up.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Stab me? Well, have you given me no fucking choice, son?
Give me your kidney. It's like that one comedian, I forget who it is. He tells the story about he grew up in this rough area, and basically he got stabbed he got stabbed by this like hard man. And basically, he was running around the park trying to get the knife out of him. And then the guy behind him who stabbed him was chasing after him, trying to get his knife out of the guy so he could have his knife back. He was like, give me back my knife. I'm like, it's literally in me.
Please give it back. I didn't mean to stab you. But it's not long-term storage either. It's my only knife. It's just back in.
I've had it since I was 6. How could you?
It's my only knife. Give it back. Give it back. It's fucking. I'll fucking clone you. What? Yeah, that's.
But yeah,
that's good fun. A third time
I do remember
it was actually good banter on the podcast. Hallelujah.
I do remember the clown. Like, I do remember the crazy clowns from like 2016. Because I found it funny because my cousin would be like, oh, the clown was chased after me on a bike the other day. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, mate, sure. Because I'm 12 at the time. I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever. I sure, whatever you say, mate. But yeah, you know, that anxiety side gets creeping up on you, and it's like, maybe there is crazy clowns out there.
The most like this I had was one Halloween night where I was out and about. And I'm Jackson in general, so Halloween night was extra fun because you see a bunch of dickheads in actual like horror movie masks. And like, I remember just with a group of people who were just walking around, and I saw this like, I didn't think at the time was this old couple, but I found them to be the creepiest motherfuckers I'd ever seen. And so I'd be like, oh fucking hell, these guys are terrifying. And then one of them just looked at me like, I'm like 50 years old. When you fucking on? I'm like, cheers. Sound. It's dark, right? I can't see. I didn't ask for their fucking license. A license to spook? No fucking thank you. I don't fucking think so.
Apparently,
just saying it like that kid in the fucking news report. Apparently, you know that little ginger kid.
But yeah, there's a lost media rumor mystery. Apparently, do you know like that horror night they do at Universal Studios in every Halloween night? Apparently, in 2002. Apparently, guys, in 2002, Marvel gave the right to like Universal. You know, you can have Carnage. And according to this guy, and it's hearsay, it's basically it shows like these Marvel superheroes that Carnage has killed, and apparently it was like Wolverine's leg showing, blood coming out of him, like Iron Man's head, Spider-Man's arms. It was like this weird thing, and there's no photos of it online.
Yes, it's Superman's ass just fucking. Okay.
Toby Maguire, you're caked up.
Super ass. Not my best work, can't lie. Need to workshop that one a little bit more.
But yeah, so apparently like apparently like Marvel got angry at them and pulled out. But but there's no like photos online or nothing. I think this one guy whose brother did play Carnage at the Universal Studios thing. He just went, look, mate, it's false. And I just went, oh yeah, it's probably false. Because there's no photos, there's no proof of it online. Like there's photos from the event, but there's no photos from the actual like Marvel Carnage thing with the superheroes.
I too like just, making up stories that don't exist. That's good fun. That's my favourite.
Yeah, it never happens on the internet, of course. It never happens. You know, it never happens, Ash, does it?
Well, actually, the other day I walked outside. A clown came after me. Fucking hell!
Oh.
Said, "What are you gonna do? Stab me? 3 days in hospital." Classic clown behaviour.
Yeah, we got a fiver for the bus.
I don't have the bus fare. It's actually like a 70-year-old man. My pension's not come in yet. Why are you dressed as a clown?
I'm a Jewish clown.
At least the face paint loves me. It's fucking. Mate, Steve, do you need a chat? No, I'm alright. Alright, Steve. Still not getting my fucking bus fare though, you little bastard. Stab! Get fucked! I didn't spend 3 days in hospital. Fuck you, Steve.
Could you imagine a sad clown like just going, "Oh, I'm very sad today. Honk, honk. Very down on my luck." Just honking its nose.
Yeah,
Like,
then you just honk these nuts, clown. Fucking. This podcast's an absolute fucking sham, isn't it? Third time lucky, absolutely hysterical.
There is a according to the last media like wiki, there is a movie that a director made where it was like a Jewish clown in the 1940s. But it's never been released because the guy made the film realized it was about a clown who was depressed and then went, "This is shit." And then the Joker was released. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, there is a movie that is supposedly about a depressed, I think, Jewish clown. And yeah, it's not come out.
Yeah, tremendous.
Yeah, thank you. My finest work. Joker 2's out this year. I wonder will it be good. I haven't seen the first one.
Why is it always strikes, doesn't it? Oh, something I don't care about. Will it be good? I don't fucking know. It's sound.
It
feels like when you're like when you're talking to a crowd and being like, "Hello, London." It's like, "Yeah, London." It's like, oh, fuck. Who cares? Who fucking cares?
It's like that. It's like that one Frankie Boyle bit I love. Where it's like, "Glastonbury, make some fucking noise." It buckles me every time. But yeah, I do love all the edgelords who are like, the Joker's not like bisexual or anything. I think you look at the comics and it's like the Joker does not care what
everyone's gay in the comics. As long as you can draw a fucking ass in the comic, like fuck it, let's have a go. Like the comics are mental. Comics are one of the most horny genres.
Do you know the weird, bizarre like Batman lore? Like apparently in Batman, it's a fact that you can't show him having sex or having a dating life.
Why not?
Like I don't know. They just don't want it. DC don't want it. Like Superman, yeah, he can pound and go, but Batman, they draw the line. It's funny because it's like because apparently there was a joke in Harley Quinn like that Batman doesn't go down on anyone.
They don't want to. They don't want to see Batman cry. Cool. My mum died as a kid. Please love me. Batman, come on. You just put me up in a bar for fuck's sake. Hold my hand. Batman. Absolutely tragic shit, that is.
Imagine Batman going down on you and he goes, "I'm going to show you what my mother did." Ooh. And then falls to the ground.
See, somehow mine was slightly more tame. And I had to set up that joke by saying his parents are dead. So, you know.
Yeah, Batman, I hear you had a father and your father's dead.
Yeah, that's a wrestling reference for nobody in the audience.
Yeah, Slater, if you're watching, there you go. There's your one wrestling reference, Slater.
They're not.
They're not watching. They're not even subscribed. But yeah, apparently the fucking rule in Batman is he can't like have a sex life. And I'm like, poor Batman. He's literally being cock blocked by the writers. Poor Batman.
I think Batman will manage. Like,
he can't get no pussy.
He doesn't do it often, but when he does, you know, we've seen some of the fucking. You've still seen the movies though. I still think. I don't know. I feel like Batman's a definition of a fucking. Oh, see you later, it's like, Batman. I just started. Yeah, well, I'll finish. Gotham needs me. Oh, I need you. Fuck's sake, come on. Sorry, love. Bat signal, and then he just pulls out his phone and puts his torch on. Batman, come on. Can I call you Batman, or do I have to call you Bat Boy?
It must be hard, in a superhero universe, to date a superhero. It must be one of the worst things ever.
I mean, yeah, you're always in danger of getting fucking murked.
Well, the only good positive I could see about dating a superhero is She-Hulk. Because, anyone fucks with, She-Hulk's gonna fuck them up. I'm
I'm sure there's a lot of other fucking I'm sure it's a decent chunk of like
Well,
laying pipe with
look
a
at
superhero.
Ash, you know my type of woman. You know,
Mate, imagine. Yeah, this is just you just inserting your fucking fantasies into the podcast, isn't it?
Imagine She-Hulk pegging you. You'd be fucked. You wouldn't be able to walk for a month. It'd be like a tree.
Imagine,
It'd be like a tree trunk going up there.
Imagine Spider-Man just like, some people like fucking rope. What if you get fucking web just fucking...
Oh, like with the fucking organic web shooters that Toby had.
I don't care what it's made out of. Just fucking tie me up. Go on, Spider-Man. Absolute fucking danger.
Just fucking, I'll show you. Wee.
Yeah, not really. I think you'd have to work on his technique a little bit. It's not quite the sexiest thing. It's like, come on. Just can you just set it up whilst I'll just shut my eyes, alright? I don't need to see you fucking don't need to see that. But heightened senses.
Daredevil will be a fun. The only problem with Daredevil is,
if you were Rogue, you might die, but fuck it. You might die, but fuck it. See what happens.
The only problem I'd have is
that's me inserting my teenage fantasies into the podcast. Rogue's an absolute fucking best superhero. Teenage crush. That grey streak in hair made me like dyed hair as a whole. Absolutely destroyed it all. It doesn't work anymore. All right. Keep going.
Do you have any grey hairs?
Hmm?
You have grey hair?
Cheers, mate. Appreciate the compliment.
But yeah, I was going to say, probably the worst superhero to be saved by would be Daredevil. Like, if you have a bomb strapped to you, how the fuck's Daredevil going to save you? He can't see the wires. Like, he's colorblind. He's blind. Like, yes, he has heightened sense, but like, he can't sense what fucking wire is what.
Just pass as a manual. Oh, fucking hell. Daredevil, I don't know how to defuse a bomb. Why the fuck not, man? It's your life that you're risking. I didn't put a bomb on my head. It's not like a fucking power fantasy to me. Yeah, just defuse a bomb on my head. Nah, I'm alright, thanks. Rather live, personally.
It's like that, because Ash will hear me quote it sometimes. He heard me quote it on Strictly once. It's like that, I think it's
I prefer not think of the Strictly days, personally.
It's by Solid J, where it's Spider-Man like fighting.
Took about
Kingpin.
9 weeks for you to stop saying it was good. 10 out of 10.
Where he's fighting Kingpin, and basically the joke is, "Oh, fuck Daredevil," and then Spider-Man's like, "Yeah," and he's blind. He's like, "But he does cool flips." That's what I always quote. It's just but he does cool flips. Like, that's why I love Daredevil. He's just he does cool flips.
I think who else would be an absolute machine? I feel like Wolverine in the sack would be unbelievable.
Oh,
I feel like it's you couldn't tell him like, Wolverine. I love it when you like scratch my back. It's like, fucking hell, no claws. Get them fucking claws away. For fuck's sake.
Oh man, your back would look horrible. Like, imagine just them claws digging into your back. Like, the skin would be coming off. It'd be horrible.
Yeah, I had to make it vivid and gross. I'm imagining it now. I did the imagery, but I did it subtly. That's all I'm saying.
Deadpool.
I'd find it funny if Cyclops, like, if his laser went off when he ejaculated. Oh fuck! Sorry, no, I've done it again.
Third time this week.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But God, there's just nondescript holes in the wall. What's that for? Fucking Cyclops. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Deadpool is known to like fuck, because he obviously in the movies he's obviously referenced being pegged. He's obviously referenced like he's done a lot of shit to his girlfriend before she died. So like Deadpool apparently would be
pleasure-wise, sexually, not like fucking dodgy.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of fucking stuff to his girlfriend before she died. Fucking hell, alright. Fucking changing the whole, put some eerie music on it, people are gonna think it's a fucking horror.
The top 10.
I forget how disgusting Deadpool looks.
Yeah. Have you the dog pool's in the movie, in the third movie apparently, like dog pool. I'm disappointed because there's only one type of dog that could fit for dog pool, and it's not who you think it is. Like the only one I can think of that would fit that role is a pug, because pugs are an ugly creature. But like they've gone with a weird.
I don't know why that's. I don't know why that's there. Sorry, mate.
What?
It's all good. Didn't hear it. Perfect. Fine. Just an absolute diss. Said takes one and no one. You call yourself Piggy, so.
Yeah. I admit I'm ugly. I admit it.
I didn't say ugly. Just said you look like a pug.
I can't.
Mate, if a pug had your chin, you'd fucking absolutely the pug would be top of the fucking food chain. Fucking decapitating others. Fucking. Fucking
Imagine a pug with like a fucking massive chin. That would be great. Oh, like Robbie Rotten, like that type of chin.
Yeah, I had an impressive chin.
Were you a fan of Lazy Town?
I remember putting Lazy Town on because my cousin's autistic and he just like, put Lazy Town on. And then like we ended up just watching Lazy Town for like fucking the rest of the day. He fucked off. We were still like fucking like, yeah, lovely Lazy Town. Like, I shit you not. It was just like it's that excuse where it's like, put it on because they like it, and then turns out you spent like the next 12 hours just fucking going through Lazy Town.
What's the lore?
I still
don't understand the lore.
I still love the fucking cooking by the book with Lil Jon. It's too good. It's too good.
Like Lazy Town is a great.
Been off the fucking rails. I love it.
I don't care. I'm enjoying this.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about serious topics soon.
Yeah. We're getting a lot out of our system first. I'm trying to think of childhood TV shows that I would not bring back, because I'm thinking Big Cook, Little Cook cannot come back.
It's just hard to watch because it's like looking at some of the shows and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
just looking at any show Dan Schneider made and you're like, oh fuck. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Dan Schneider, he's apparently suing. He's apparently suing.
Talk about it.
He's apparently suing the people who did Dark Side of TV. He's apparently suing them, and I'm like, Dan, you're not going to win that fucking argument. Like, we all know you're a creep. If you like Epstein suing his island, like, you can't fucking win, man. You're gonna fucking lose.
If you're dead.
Yeah. But it is interesting when you look back at all them.
Apparently.
There's a conspiracy for your kids. Did Epstein kill himself?
No.
Or was it like Kurt Cobain and it was set up all by his wife? But it's interesting when you look back at like these kids' TV shows. So he obviously gets the Big Cook, Little Cook, like with the little cream on his face
the old spaff.
And like Lazy Town
gone everywhere. Dirty bastard. Stop it. One thing that buckles me is old Nunu and Teletubby the Hoover.
Oh, that's a shag.
I don't know how I'd describe a Hoover personally, but you do you, mate. You get your kicks.
Hold on here. You're telling me that Hoover, you would not look at that Hoover and go, I might stick my penis in that for interest reasons, for interesting purposes and research.
No, I'm right, mate.
You clearly do not know.
I don't look at a lot of things and say I'd like to put my penis inside of it for research purposes.
It's only a Hoover. What's he going to do? Come out traumatized?
Press that fucking turbo switch. Oh!
My penis is ripped off. Help me.
I mean, I say somewhat related, but not really, in terms of no penis. As a kid, I put my hand up a Hoover. And obviously, I don't know how. I must have just been crawling around and like fucking whoop. Like the hand went in there. I've got like a decent sized I said, oh, fucking hell, come on. There's a little scar, like, fucking around here. But otherwise, it's fucking... The only way to not get the fucking... You can roughly see the outline. It's just like this little bit. That's a scar. So, did put my hand up a Hoover. Never really got much like clarity as to why. But, I mean, I guess it's just as simple as you were crawling on the floor, went up the Hoover, skin ripped off. Sound reasonable.
It's just the things you do as a child, like, don't stick a fork in the socket. Oh no, he's done it.
I'm alright. Never did that personally.
No, me either. No, totally.
But I think with that aside, it's been half an hour.
Yeah.
And...
Also, lads, I just wanted to briefly touch on. I might be getting another tattoo done here. The Green Day heart grenade. I might be getting that done here. And there's a guy called Willy Wonky. He's a wonky cat who probably doesn't have long left to live. Sadly, he's slowly declining. And I might be getting a tattoo right there of Willy Wonky. So I will have a Willy on my arm.
Exactly.
A black cat.
I think with all that said, I think it's now time to transition into the actual EastEnders part of the podcast. So I'll just reiterate the main stories and then we'll get to it. So obviously Stevie getting to know the family, George continued to spiral, Whitney and Zach get married, and Patrick and Yolande's two-hander. So with all that in mind, let's get into the EastEnders part of the podcast. Welcome back to part 2 of the podcast. I segued it lovely when I did it and did the transition over, but fuck it, we're recording this in 2 parts. I don't want it to fucking cut out all of the progress we made and the lovely, ridiculous conversation we just had. This is obviously recorded in the same session, because come on now. trying to get that Friday off, baby. Come on. This is how it works. You know, we do like to record it when the episodes are fresh in the mind, but also the Friday off is fucking lovely. So let's start talking about the EastEnders. Stevie gets to know the family. Alright, so easy shit. Big ol' cheeky little Stevie. He's hanging around a little bit more. Billy's kids and Lexi invite Stevie to dinner, and Jay offers him a little drink, and Will kind of is a bit on the edge because he's like, "Look, mate, just treat Janet like we do, you know. Just treat Janet like you do us." And he starts to understand a little bit more as they all get to know each other. It's kind of, you can see that Stevie has kind of, obviously, I don't know. I feel like it's what most people do when they've never really interacted with someone before, and you get a bit cautious, and you're like, oh shit, what do? I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, and then you just condescend them even more than you would have if you just fucking didn't notice anything or pay attention to any detail.
I like the dynamic of Janet, Will, and Stevie, big Stevie Cool. I love. We'll get to it in the final bits of that episode. But I love the fact that Stevie is not like against Janet, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like, he
is treating her the exact same, really.
Yeah, he's treating her like the exact same. Like, compared to if this was EastEnders 5 years ago, Stevie would be kicking a Down syndrome child down the flight of stairs and setting him on fire if it was 5 years ago. Because, you know, that's what every old person does, you know, when they see a Down syndrome child. Wokeness! Boom! Oh, fuck. I think it's gone. It's gone.
Don't know why he's Kung Fu Panda fucking bouncing them away.
Imagine on top of the stairs, just a child who slightly annoys the old man, just fucking bounces them down the fucking stairs. But yeah, continue.
But yeah, carrying it on though, they all get to know each other. He makes a good impression. They're all like on the side of Stevie. Billy gets angry when he hears about this and threatens Stevie, like, stay the fuck away from my kids. You know, I don't want you there. And he tries to get him to open up a little bit about Stevie, if not for him, for the family, saying, like, you know, after low, you know, you never know when you've got, like, little time left. It's, you know, might be worth building the bridges. I don't want to have this discussion again, but people have been saying, it's absolutely, we're rolling the beat. It's easy. Imagine if we had to rehearse all the segments of the podcast. Fucking hell. Essentially, some people are rightfully upset that the family don't seem to be listening to Billy when he is warning them away from Stevie. And some people are just like, oh, like having people who are bad for the family. Basically, they don't truly know what Stevie's like. They're only seeing the part of Stevie who's trying to, come across as good mannered and a good person to the family. They haven't seen the depths that Billy saw.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are upset that they're kind of not listening to him because, it's kind of like, fuck your trauma. It's the family. Do it for the family. And it's like, yeah, but what if they were super bad for Billy? What if Stevie was a terrible fucking dad and put him in a care, like one of those things. Obviously, I will say Stevie fundamentally has only come across as genuine and decent and honest so far. We've seen some bits that you can look as unsavory, like him fucking scrounging off of everyone and him nearly going along with Nadine's blackmail, but kind of still taking the money anyways. Yeah.
We joked about it the first time we did it, but do you reckon he ordered a fucking storm? When Will's like, I'll pay. You reckon he was like, right, I'll have the fish and chips, I'll have some wings, I'll have some fries, some extra chips.
2 burgers, a smashed burger. Just like, Stevie, it's, I'm like 16. Well, you're going to be famous one day. Pay up now. It's...
Fucking imagine just like your granddad who has no money just comes into your life like, son, I'll bring you for lunch. I think like, oh, she's bringing me for lunch. That's really nice.
I forgot my wallet.
No. He doesn't do that yet. He goes, oh yeah. What do you want? I'll have the burger, the chips, the egg and chips, the gammon and chips, and some mushy peas, and maybe some spuds. And then obviously the child orders. And then my granddad just turns around and goes, I've lost my wallet. Who's gonna pay? It's like, it's 400 quid, granddad. Fuck you. They're going in a home.
And Phil kind of reminds Billy that Stevie's not worth it. Billy nearly loses it with Will, who's been revising with Stevie's help in the cafe. And when Will doesn't do what Billy tells him to do, Billy nearly escalates and nearly smacks him. And that's obviously something Billy's not done. He's not raised a hand to his kids. And the last person he probably raised his hand to as a kid was Jamie. So it puts him back in that headspace, it's been a long time since Jamie was around. And it's been a long time since Billy's been actively nasty in any real way. I mean, people can make up their own mind on that bit, but...
Well, what would you do if he did turn around and just fucking right hooked not Stevie, Will? He just full and bopped him. Because I feel like Will would just turn around and just literally grab him and throw him to the ground. Will does seem like he
just absolutely just headbutt him. Think that's good, Billy? Smash! Other things in your fridge.
I just like to imagine, when you see it in UFC and wrestling, obviously, when they just grab them and just shove them to the ground, but they go down with them. I feel like I just want to see Will
take down.
He just he doesn't take him down. He grabs him, runs, takes him down on top of the cashier, the cash register, and takes the fucking cash. I'll be taking that 50 quid, mate. Fucking see you, Billy.
I see you. Stevie's there with a bag, just fucking hell, that's free money.
Free money, pal. I could go to Vegas with this.
Yeah, Phil, when advising him about this, says, look, maybe you keep Stevie close, see if he's doing anything unsavory. See what he's in it for. And Billy then offers to invite Stevie round the flat later to try and make it up to Will. And when sitting down with Stevie, he kind of says, look, all right, I've seen a lot of my friends die. I feel like I'm going to a funeral every week. I'm lonely. I want my family back. And Billy invites him around the house as Stevie settles into Mitchell family life.
The best way I can describe how you'd feel for Stevie is by a movie reference. A little known movie called The Green Mile. In the previous recording, I call it The Long Mile, because I keep confusing it for The Longest Yard, which is an Adam Sandler movie. And basically, in The Green Mile, Tom Hanks' character is given the gift of outliving everyone. And so, it's how I describe Stevie in the end. He's seeing his friends pass. He's losing his family. He has no one around him. He just needs that somebody in his life. whether that's good or bad, it's your interpretation. I can't sit you down and go, look, it's fucking good, it's fucking bad. It's your interpretation. You can say Stevie's the biggest wanker you've ever seen on the face of this planet. Hell, you can say Stevie has kicked some children. I don't know. But to me, from what I'm seeing, Stevie's an alright bloke. I would have loved if when he hugged Janet, he brought her in and just went, hey, fucking on the head. How's it going? Or just start going, wet willy. just doing child antics to Janet. I was a granddad, and like, yeah, and my granddaughter was like, I just fucking come here, babe, come here. Get an old nookie. Did it all for the cookie. But I do want to talk about Denzel and Amy, because Denzel and Amy are having a rift.
Yeah, Denzel's cozied up to a little influencer who said, "Oh, let's collab," and then he's like a fly on shit. Oh, hello, Ebony. Oh, how you doing? All right. Yeah. His nugget. He's the cameraman. Oh, here's Amy, and then Amy's like, yeah, his fucking girlfriend. Like, fucking, what are you doing, you little? Also, fucking, she had like a messy bun. Fucking, that hairstyle was fucking sick. Fair play. Like, long hair is a fucking marvel. The shit you can do with it. Don't look at yourself if you do that. Just wear it down, you fucking wank stain. Fucking, yeah, long hair is great. I do so many things with it. Yeah, right. Fucking.
Yeah. But I describe this best to Ash. Why would you want fish when you can have steak? Just Amy's fish.
In what context?
Amy's fish and the other lass's steak. Why have fish when you can have steak? It can work in any scenario. You're not B&Q picking out a new lawnmower. Why would I want? Why do I want this new lawnmower? Well, I have fish at home and I could really do with some steak. You know, it's a life lesson.
I'm not going to compare the two. It's just Denzel's pursuit of like what he believes is good right now, rather than his like, his actually very loving relationship that he's neglecting. Look. The numbers don't matter, Denzel. As someone who's growing a YouTube channel, the numbers don't matter. They do. No, they don't. They don't. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, Denzel's just gonna fuck it up because he's either gonna get too much of an ego, or he's gonna have no ego, and then he's not even gonna like fucking be relevant. Fucking bozo. Look, get the right opinions, loser. Get ratioed, Denzel.
The best thing
subscribers on YouTube? Don't fucking think so. Little fucking loser. Keep taking those steroids. Fucking bitch. I got that natural gains, baby. Leather work for 4 years.
But it will be funny if Denzel chooses the new girl who has a very influencer name over Amy, which he probably will. But again, it's not going to go the route where I wanted to go to, where it's comedic. This is going to sound so wrong. Where it's comedic abuse. Where he's on the steroids, he's on the juice, he's fucking look at me, I'm the fucking macho man. Fuck yeah, I'm the macho man. Boom, take that woman. Make me my steak next time. Well done. Like, I don't think we'll ever see that, but
I'd rather not see any of that personally. Can we not get any of that, please? Thank you.
We won't get any of it. But it's just, if you were doing steroid storyline, I want like the outrageous like effects that it does on you. I know it's not going to be nice, but
yeah, you have to. I would show play into the actual like roid rage phenomena.
Yeah.
Phenomena.
Yeah, that was my point, guys. I don't believe that you should beat your woman or man.
Yeah, but you say that, and you're like half smiling. You fucking creep. Have a Stella, are you? Fucking go into Spain and Englishing people. Hello, can I get a Stella, love? Fucking Stella, what more do you fucking want, you melt? You're in someone else's country. Oh, fucking Dave, you fucking nubber. Or the famous joke is obviously going to France and being like, Je vais en some confiture and pasty. Sorry, let's say that one again. Pasty. Oh.
Greg's sausage roll. Do you compute, woman? Do you compute? Knowing me in 10, 20, 40 years, I'll be that fucking gammon Brexit geezer.
Fucking better not be.
Now, big beer belly on me in the pub, throwing darts at myself, trying to hit myself in the head. My own target. Just seeing how society works. Because let's admit it, we're all woke once, and then what is woke doesn't become woke anymore, and now what's woke it becomes scary, and I don't like it. I tried to do the Abe Simpson quote from The Simpsons, but I couldn't.
I mean,
I was with it, and then we changed what it was.
All over. Ultimately, started off weak, finished off really, really disappointing. Yeah.
Just like my sex life. Thank you. But yeah, let's quickly move on.
At?
I don't.
The most fucking awkward laugh after that. Just like my sex life. It's crickets. Ah! It's fucking. What are you laughing at?
What are you laughing at? If your nan had balls, she'd be your uncle, but she doesn't.
She's your nan. Alright, George continues to spiral. So from very silly talk to somewhat serious therapy talk, George continues to spiral. The girls have to break the news to him that the funeral's already passed. He couldn't go to the funeral, and he can't say goodbye to Gloria, at least not in the way that he would have wanted to. He arranges a fight while the girls arrange for them to do their own little memorial to, glorify Gloria's life. He gets a text from Rufus saying, "Good work, good KO last night," so he was out boxing. Gina manages to make George feel a little bit better about Gloria's passing and helps a bit with the speech by being like, remember all the silly things. Like when she accidentally shit herself 3 times in a row. Good times. Didn't happen, of course.
No need to bring up my past.
That was just 5 minutes ago. Bloody hell. What's that fucking laugh, mate? Fucking...
What?
Oh, it's just the... Ha ha! The fucking hell.
Oh!
He can't laugh now. He feels self-conscious. They desperately want Junior to show up in time. Will he show up in time? No, the answer's next week. George starts to show shines with a brain injury. At the funeral, he sees double visions, having bad headaches, and he delivers a very melancholic speech. But as he raises the glass, he collapses to one knee. He's dealing with a case of CTE, obviously something that's common with a lot of NFL players, professional wrestlers, boxers, any profession that involves taking a decent chunk of blows to the head. It's where, through amount of brain injuries, it starts to just mess up the brain and mangle it completely.
Basically, imagine you're playing Play-Doh, and your brain is the Play-Doh, and then you continue to get punched in the head. It's just the rolling the Play-Doh into the ball. As
Play-Doh, of course.
Yeah.
That's
how I describe it. Your brain will. Your brain was just like the Grimace. The Grimace, is that the guy from McDonald's? The big purple fella? The big fat purple guy? Yeah, your brain will just look like him in the end. And you'll wonder why he has 2 eyes, arms, and legs. And then you wake up from your acid trip and it was all a dream. You're actually in 2014.
Great one. Great cover, mate. That cleared up CTE for everyone. It's just, constant concussions, constant brain trauma. Obviously, it'll affect the brain. Some cases where the brain... It's like the most famous wrestling example, which I won't directly talk about, but I will say, when looking at a wrestler's brain, it looked like he had the brain of a 70-year-old with Alzheimer's. And this was a supposedly professional athlete as such. She's been working out daily for years. At the age of 40. So
didn't also help the fact that he pounded on steroids because he was he was like 5'10".
yeah, it didn't
But
help.
yeah,
It didn't help either. But
and
you
if
know,
you want a famous
CTE,
example
the
of the
effects of a fucking 70-year-old Alzheimer patient. That's how
like,
crippling CTE can be, and that's what the
if
constant
you
blows to
really
the
want
head
an example of
will
getting,
do.
if you really want an example of like CTE to that fucking head, like straight away, what would give you a concussion? We just talked about him. We're not going to go into a length because he shows up on one more match sometimes. But Benoit is the famous example. He runs off the ropes at Royal Rumble 2001. You're supposed to get hit with a chair. You're supposed to do that, so it doesn't directly hit you right there. But obviously, when you're diving through a rope, there's no way you can like put your hands out to save you. You can, but Benoit just goes, "Fuck it,
Doesn't look
I'm
as
getting a
good.
paycheck." Boom,
Yeah,
right in the
massive
skull, and
wind
you
up
could
of the
hear it
chair,
around the world.
cracks it entirely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's rough. I was going to try to go the whole segment without mentioning his name, but you fucking went.
Fuck it, I don't care.
Didn't read the sign, but yeah, CTE big. As we're wrestling fans, it's kind of the like, it's the the ant in the corner you don't really want to talk about, but she shows at Christmas sometimes. It's like, fucking hell, that's rough.
Because it's not funny, but it's like weird when you look at it. Because you look at any wrestler from like the Attitude Era, or even it's like the early half of the Ruthless Aggression era. You're like, oh, did they live past 40? No, they died by 35. And it's like, what? It's like, well, no, hold on here. And it's just like that instance where it's like half the wrestlers that like people grew up in the 90s are all dead now because like they didn't live life to the fullest. All they had was drugs, alcohol, and CTE,
And
and they
steroids.
were and steroids and cocaine.
But yeah, and yeah, it's also common in boxers, right? Because they get them fucking boffed in the head constantly. Like, no head's supposed to deal with so much force. And speaking of which, like, one punch could kill George, which could set up the potential exit of George if he like dies trying to save someone, takes a blow to the head, and dies. I couldn't see it happening anytime soon, but yeah. George explains to the family he's been boxing again. He explains he'd lost who he was, and getting in the ring was the only way of making him feel like him. Cindy catches George taking money from Rufus, who gets worried that Cindy gets worried that he's going to fight again. And she books some therapy for George, saying like, you need a way to blow off steam and you can't go boxing, otherwise you will die. And he starts drinking instead of actually looking towards doing the therapy. And he finally goes to the therapy session and opens up that tiny bit. I've been struggling after my mum died and now I can't really process it. And then he storms out, where the family yell at Cindy for trying to get George some therapy, which I thought was quite untoward. But fair enough. He then books another fight. And Cindy learns this, and when he refuses to stop, she, like, for the good of him, blackmails him to say, look, I'll tell Elaine about our kiss, but Elaine's eavesdropping anyways, and George says he doesn't care.
Yeah. Now this is going to talk about mental health, so you guys just want to skip about 20 minutes, 20 minutes, go ahead. I would flash up like a trigger warning, but I don't have anything with me. So, yeah, it's just, for anyone out there, you lost someone special, you're going through a tough time. Yeah, don't go boxing, because the problem is, if you go bare knuckle boxing, and you fight someone, you could either get fucked up or you could fuck someone else up, and just fighting someone for your feelings is not the best way to solve your problems. Yeah, maybe if it was the 15-50, if it was 15-55, maybe it'd be the best way to solve it.
It's a very, very, very strange way to enter this conversation, but yeah, like, still self-harm in a way, which is what we said, but I don't know. Where do you want to take this? Because I'm not too fucking fussed, really.
Just go. I go to I openly discuss it. I go to a doctor every 3 to 4 months. They go, how's it going? Yeah, your name, yeah, your age, yeah, 65 and all. But I'm only 20. Your height. They don't say your height. And they go, how is your day going? Grand. What do you do in your spare time? I do YouTube. Anything you want to change by your life? No. Do you want to change your medication? No. All right, you can go. I obviously did therapy as well, about 3 times. All shit, wasn't for me. Because therapy depends, because therapy can be for some people, but not for everyone. Like from experience of having therapy as a child, you don't know how to. Oh fuck me, that beer is repeating on me.
It's
You don't know.
fucking ball bag.
Yeah, well, I also had pork pies and some spicy Doritos. But when you're a child, you don't really know how to express yourself, and you don't really know how to feel or like tell people how you feel, if that makes sense. And
Yeah,
when
for
you
sure.
when you open up to a doctor and go, look, I have mental health problems, I suffer with vices, chances are they're either gonna go 20 quid, schizophrenia, 20 quid, schizophrenia, or they're like, yeah, you're a child, you're obviously making this up. I think when you get older, people will slowly listen to you, and hopefully things will change. But if they don't, they don't. And like in most countries, or we always joke that China and Japan are like 20 years ahead of us with technology. If we had the technology China and Japan had for mental health, we'd be in a whole new universe. I think
You
people's
say
lives would
that
actually
China
be.
and Japan aren't really, definitely aren't the ones to look at for mental health. Personally, I'd say that much. Not
Yeah,
really
yeah, they're not. But if you had the
they're not living
technology,
their best lives. I'll say that much. Some say it's a bit of an epidemic in China with mental health. So just,
also, is there a light shining on me?
yeah, it's your actual light.
All right, I thought I was just a crack on my phone. But you know, if people actually took people serious and didn't fight over what gender you are or what sexuality you are or what race you are, I think people's lives will be better. But obviously, we can't do that. And it's just you feel sorry for people because some people want to open up and express who they are. Like, for all I know, Ash could be a gay trans woman. For all I know, you know, there's some people who have feelings but don't know how to express it, and then they go to a GP or a doctor or a therapist, and you try and talk to them, but they don't listen. And especially getting even worse in America, because America is like, if you even mention to your fucking doctor that you're any part of the LGBTQ, they're like, okay, the school has to know, and the teacher can publicly out, yeah. And you know, it's just like, what's the point? You're supposed to protect people, but if you're outing their business, it doesn't help. Like for instance, if I told Ash, look, I get heartburn every Thursday at 7:30, and he then goes and spreads that word, am I going to be happy with him? No. So how is opening up to someone who then has to report it going to help them? Like, because they have to publicly share it. Like, at least with a therapist, all they're sharing it with is a mental health person. I can see Ash in the corner. I go, no, here we go.
I just I'm just trying to figure out what the fucking point of this is. I'll be real with you, mate. I'm trying to wrap it back round to the point. It's gone off a little bit off the fucking rails. We barely talked about therapy. We barely talked about anything relating to the George stuff. So therapy.
But I do recommend therapy.
Again,
therapy is for some people and not for everyone.
Therapy
I do recommend if
can be as useful as it can be as useful as you can put into it. So there's a way you can make therapy work for yourself, but if you are just forced to go to therapy and you don't really want to talk to anyone, probably not going to be the most beneficial. I went therapy once, I believe, and had some like sessions otherwise, and it kind of, to me, it helped reassess the problems that I felt I was facing in my life, and it helped me kind of address them in a way. But ultimately, if you have some fucking really terrible like living situation or like a constant nuisance that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, therapy's probably not gonna fucking help you deal with that. If someone is just making your life a misery, you have to deal with like regularly traumatic things. Obviously it can help, but it may not be the solution.
Yeah, and but if you just have that toxic person in your life, or toxic thing, could be a plant, could be an animal, could be a person, I'd say get rid of them. Because sometimes people think they know what's best for you, but you're the only person who can be the best for yourself. And how I describe it, it's like if you look up to a YouTuber. I always say, don't look up to us. Because for all you know, me and Ash behind cameras could be fucking making sweatshirts in factories, making little kids make sweatshirts in factories. For all you know, behind camera, we could be doing that, and you don't have an idea until we get out of them and we're semi-famous. So, like, I always say, don't look up to YouTubers, don't look up to celebrities, because the chances are, any celebrity you like, the chances are it's going to be like, he's a pervert, he's a pedophile, he's a rapist. It's like, oh, fuck me. It's like, why am I the only person you can look up to is yourself. And at least if you fail on your mistakes, at least then you can be like, well, at least I didn't look up to that pedophile. So I'm in a better light now. So at least I'm better than him, and he's rotting in jail getting bummed for 5p a night.
I mean, it's also just generally, if you, well, it's be able to have that self-belief. It's about having that. It's about building that inner, like, just building a better connection with yourself. I feel like is the best thing, because ultimately you as much as your family may also have your best interests at heart, you're the only one who's living with yourself day in, day out. And if you manage to build up a healthy relationship with yourself, well, it's going to benefit other areas. Like the other week, I start to realize that I've reached a point where going outside, I no longer have that like fucking crippling anxiety. And for a long time, I would go out like a couple times a year, stay in the house as much as I could. But now it's no longer as terrifying a prospect, because I've slowly built up that confidence in myself and that belief that I can do these things. Like, and it's just about kind of breaking down the barriers that you have, and about believing that you can achieve what you want to, and setting little goals for yourself will definitely help. And even setting like big goals, you may not achieve them in a day, but if you achieve them in a year, you achieve them in a couple of years. Like, it's all about making small progress towards where you want to be, and therefore you'll actually fucking you'll start to manage and start to it's just you set achievable things, and you gradually get that gratification and that satisfaction, and then you generally start to believe in yourself more, is my roundabout way of finishing off this point. Like, I would personally recommend some therapy, or alternatively, if you're not on medication and you feel like you are like clinically depressed, or you suffer with anxiety or depression in general, I didn't really believe in, like, I'd say don't really believe in medication. I had a bad experience with antidepressants, so I then went, what the fuck are they supposed to do anyways? Just made me feel like even worse. But, the first ones I was given weren't the right ones for me. And the ones I would put on most recently, first of all, helped me sleep, which was something I desperately struggled with for so long. I don't think I ever really had a good night's sleep for, like, years, probably even decades at this point. And it helped me fix my sleep, and it helped reduce a lot of the anxiety I face. So it's something I'd suggest. Similar situation with my sister, where just out of university, got a degree, got the graduate job, and she just didn't have the capacity to enjoy it or feel good about her job. It was just a constant like spiral of, I'm sad and it sucks and I don't want to do it. She had some therapy, didn't really work for her, but she also put herself on, well, I say put herself, she also got prescribed some antidepressants, and the change is ridiculous, and it helped reshape her life, and now she's pretty content and doing really well, and it's really good to see, because the previous year was fucking rough for all of us. There was a lot of tragic events striking pretty much at the same time. So
I will add on to this. I will just say, if you look at your friend and your friend doesn't like this depressing tablet they're on, do not copy your friend, basically, because what doesn't work for them might work for you, and what doesn't work for you might not work for them. Or what doesn't work for you might work for them, I should say. I'm fumbling over my words. It's 8:30 at night. I'm slowly losing my mind recording this 3 times in a row. But just be yourself is all I can say.
I suppose it's also the point being, you're on sertraline, right?
Yeah.
And it somewhat works for you. Versus alternatively, I
can't
was
help
on sertraline, didn't work for me. So, it affects different ways. Like, the difference is Piggy sleeps for fucking fun. I can barely sleep at night at all.
Oh,
So,
you're not going to believe this, right? But just a little tangent, if you don't mind. But like when I take my nighttime medication, I have kind of normal dreams. Take my morning medication and I go for a nap. Fuck me. Like I start dreaming that Bill Clinton is somehow coming into my house. Like Peggy Mitchell is somehow there. Somehow I'm dating Bianca. Somehow like I'm the president of Ireland. Like it's just them weird dreams. And then I wake up and I go, well, Ash, we're still recording, aren't we? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just making sure. I was just had this weird dream that you called me a slut and told me to get the fuck out of your life, and it felt so realistic. And then you're like, no, never happened. And I'm like,
definitely.
Because it did happen. It did happen. 5
Gaslit
minutes
him
ago.
into thinking it didn't happen. A joke, of course.
But yeah, it's just I have weird dreams. Like I somehow have realistic dreams, which can be fun. When you're a bit fucking and you have a dream and it's a sexy dream, but it can also be terrifying having a dream and then you're imagining you're actually with Ash and Ash puts down his trousers and starts showing his ass to a random crowd of people and you're like, oh Ash, and then you wake up and you're like, wait, what? Because there is times where I actually do that, where I can't tell fiction from reality, so I confuse the two. And there'll be offence where I think in my head they're canon, like they actually happened, but they didn't actually happen. I was just dreaming it. Like I can't tell you the amount of times I haven't told Ash this, but I can't tell you the amount of times I've dreamt that me and Ash have had a row. Ash just throwing me out of his house, and then like walking up, went, wait, why's Ash messaged me? He's throwing me out of the house. Wait, what? So yeah, the tablets can do some weird things to your mind. I'll tell you that much. Never take drugs, but when you take sertraline, do take a sleepy nap. I'll say that much.
There we are. That's rounded itself out quite nicely. Continuing this, so Whitney's out, get married. This is a really brief fucking tangent. They're having a shotgun wedding in 2 weeks, which leaves Martin and Chelsea planning the stag and hen do, and Bianca is Whitney's maid of honor. There we are. That's all you need to know about the Whitney stuff.
And there might be a junior joining next week. That junior can be anyone. That could be Muhammad Ali Jr. That could be Mike Tyson Jr. That could be Disney Jr. That could be the Imagination Movers Jr. You just have to wait and see.
But let's finally talk about the more serious topic about Patrick and Yolande's two-hander, the episodes where Yolande tells Patrick about the sexual assault that she suffered at the hands of Pastor Clayton. Now, obviously, it's a serious one, but you always have the opportunity to jump in whenever you need to. So let's kick it off. Some of this is the build-up, some of this is Monday's episode. Patrick starts to understand that something may be wrong with Yolande because she's not herself. She isn't the bubbly kind of enjoying life as she was. She's not really following her faith as much as she would normally. And she keeps avoiding Patrick and doesn't really want to be anywhere close to him. Monday is the launch of the mobile soup kitchen, and Denise suggests that Patrick go talk to Pastor Clayton for some advice. While Yolande is talking to Elaine about the assault and how she can't stop thinking about it, and Elaine gives her the advice, it's time to tell Patrick. While Patrick is getting some advice from Pastor Clayton, who, sinisterly suggests that maybe she has early onset dementia. Maybe that's the case. Being the dastardly piece of shit that he is. I
again, you're not supposed to root for him, but I did love this scene where it's just like, yeah, she has dementia, because it's something you expect a cartoon villain to do, where it's just like, I've replaced your apple crumble with not cream. It's not cream. It's hummus. Oh no! How could you bastard? That's the worst thing you've done. It's just.
Yeah, it's not necessarily comically evil, but it is definitely. It's the pastor trying to reclaim the narrative as such. It's him trying to direct and kind of imply things that may make Yolande seem less reasonable, less believable, which pretty fucked up. And when Patrick tells Yolande like, oh, we can handle it together, it's okay. She's like, what did the pastor tell you? And he says, dementia. And she's like, I don't have dementia. And this sets up episode 2, which is the two-hander, where she is about to tell him, but it then does the duff. Little side tangent. My brother thought that it was done. Fucking silly bastard. It's like I also mentioned Julia's theme, and he's like, what the fuck? Because he's been watching 85 EastEnders because someone on the subreddit said, oh, find the episodes on Daily Motion. Sound. And then he's been trekking through it. He's been having a great time of it, honestly.
He has to let me know when he gets to the Willy episode, because I need to know when that happens.
I mean, I also started rewatching some of it as well, so I will let you know when I find it. But yeah, like, it's been kind of fun. But yeah, regardless.
But yeah, this is a great duff or dun. I'm now going to call it a dun. This is a great dun, and I think it's a great way to set up the two-parter, the two-hander, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
With Patrick and Yolande. I just think they're both great actors and actresses. Kudos to them.
I think it's a good thing that they've been given the space and they've been given the serious story. It's kind of like it's how I look at Kim beyond this previous year, where Kim was just, time for some comedy. Say, do me a favor. Done. That's Kim's comedy section done. But in this previous year, she's had comedy with depth, and in previous years, Patrick would have just had the silly scenes where he's joking around with Jim, or he's joking around with someone, and he says, yeah, man, and that's it. But now with this two-hander, both him and Yolande have been given some really good, serious stuff to work with, and that's the one thing to be truly appreciated, is that they are actually being respected as actors. It's my annoyance at the Dot stuff, where it's like, oh, Dot, just sit around and say, oh, I say, and have a smoke. It's like, like she's a serious actor. She's a long, like, the acting talent is there. It's just not being used, and that's what I feel like. Beyond this era, that's what these two characters really lacked, was that serious story to tell.
Now, I know this is just for me to reference, but I say quite my other granddad who drowned in a puddle is like when he used to slap me on the head. That's how I describe the writers and Dot's like, oh, I can do some serious acting, kill me off. Ah, you silly bitch. Do your fucking I say.
Yeah, it's just no. We have you in this role. It's like, yeah, but that's not my good role. Well, you can fucking leave if you want.
Get in that fucking jet.
You can leave if you want. All right, sound.
It does. I'm so sorry, but it does seem like soon it's like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do? Leave? And it's like, yeah, I'll leave.
Yeah.
No. We were joking.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Dot situation as a whole. And I mean, it's from Yolande left because the writers went, we don't have any storylines for you. And it was a stroke of genius bringing her back, and now you understand why she was brought back, because you're actually appreciating the acting talent that she has. So this is where we start the two-hander. Yolande is desperate to tell him the words, but she can't muster it. It's very hard to say, been sexually assaulted, because it kind of, once you say it, you can't go back. It's a very like big thing to say for a victim. And so Yolande decides to ring Elaine and says, look, tell him. And we get to see Patrick slowly take it all in, and because it's a very concerning thing, like Elaine tell him, you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck am I going to be said? You can slowly see him start to understand and get increasingly angrier as Yolande just locks herself in the bathroom in darkness, kind of like, I'd imagine it is the feeling like you want the world to like open up and swallow you up. You don't want to, like, you'd rather be anywhere but there in that situation.
Just,
And they
just, sorry to cut in there. And if you want a tiny bit of light-hearted, you can obviously listen to me where it's this serious scene. I'm not thinking of any jokes, by the way. This is generally just me. This serious scene with Patrick being told, and then obviously you're supposed to be, oh, that's very unfortunate. No, I got confused because Yolande locked herself in the bathroom and then closed the other door. So I just went, wait, what is that? I'm confused. Is that bathroom downstairs? Is that in the kitchen? Like what? And then
Piggy gets confused about interior design.
That's all I did. I got confused, and then I got happy because then I seen Patrick do the angry man shuffle, and it is funny when Patrick gets angry.
Yeah. And they talk through the bathroom wall as Patrick starts to process and gets angrier and angrier and storms out the house in a rage. But Yolande tries to talk him around. She doesn't want her private business shared. She also like yells at some people just looking on, just like, what are you fucking looking at, essentially? And they shit themselves and stop looking. So they get back into the house and now they're ready to talk. Patrick wants her to talk him through it and asks, what have I missed for the past 2 months? She explains how she made the pastor know that she felt uncomfortable over him being overly friendly or a bit too handsy. Patrick doesn't believe her initially, but she reminds him how the pastor made her feel after she mentioned it, that being gaslighting, like, how dare you suggest I did anything like that, you know. And Patrick then victim blames Yolande, and she's like, he kind of explains it by saying, you know how he felt, you should have protected yourself. But Yolande gets fucking furious at this and launches a glass. And she explains how the pastor used his power and his influence to prey on her. And she explains how older women weren't taught consent as much, and that is why Pastor Clayton preys on older women, saying a younger woman may have found him out sooner. I think there's also a line about we weren't taught about Me Too or something, which I think is a kind of controversial line. I think it's important to explain why people may be a bit miffed with this line. The we weren't taught about Me Too line feels a bit on the nose, I guess. It's a bit of a strange line to put in. Out of an episode that hit very well and everything hit the mark that it wanted to, this line was a bit more of a head scratcher. This one feels a bit like
the one thing that always like Me Too is a serious topic, but the one thing because it's I don't know how to describe it, but it's very serious stuff. Like to accuse anyone, but I just want to say, like, we're wrestling fans, so obviously half the UK wrestling scene was pretty much affected by it. But the problem is, you look at
people outed as abusers,
and the way you'd have people go, oh no, that can't happen to insert celebrity here. It's just pretty much half of pretty much 95% of people just went, yeah, they did seem like a piece of shit. Fair enough. They were a horrible piece of shit. Why did we book them?
And I will say, it's one of those frustrating scenarios where, because it's an accusation of a very kind of intimate setting with, not many people are. In most of these situations, there's no reason like there would be some direct proof, which is what a lot of people require to believe. And that's when it unfortunately does just become people defending people they like, rather than actually looking towards these accusations. It is the frustrating bit where it just becomes, yeah, but I like this person, they wouldn't do this, and it's like, that's a part of the problem though. Like, with any accusation as big as these sorts of things, it has to be taken very seriously, because what would compel someone to say something like as serious as this if there wasn't something untoward But I think that's politely with a bow on it.
But again, I could interpret that wrong. You can gladly correct me in the comments. I would gladly listen to your criticism. I'm not a righteous man. I don't know. According to a man, I have an IQ of -40. So I'm talking out of my ass. Ash's IQ of -20. So like, we're not professionals. So I'm sorry for my rant.
Yeah, it's just generally, it's just it's me pulling some faces like, oh, where's this fucking going? But I don't think you said anything too outlandish. It's just if we're treating very serious topics as accusations, obviously you don't need to throw in some pebbles when we're just launching boulders, you know. But yeah, a weird little tangent that probably we could have compressed, but fuck it, we've recorded this 3 times. It may not be the most tactile. I like to think we're somewhat in line, and I don't think we've been particularly disrespectful. But yeah, if you take any upset with anything that we've said, like I said, tell us in the comment section. We will learn from it, yeah. So, but continuing, and I will say, obviously, also people may have been a bit confused at Patrick victim blaming her, but I think it would have been quite surprising had Patrick not have victim blamed Yolande. Obviously, it's a horrible thing to do, but like I said, Patrick's from a older generation. You know, like, I think it would be quite unrealistic for Patrick to suddenly be like, I think it was just it was a realistic depiction of like a 70-year-old man kind of doing this. But carrying on though, she explains how no man has a right to do anything with a body, and then you see Patrick kind of change the approach. He realizes maybe this isn't the way we discuss this. So he starts to try and lighten the mood by joking, like, oh, you know, hell of an arm on you. Like, fucking hell. And you yelling at that, like, couple. Like, fucking Jesus. And then he tells her, like, look, you are right. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. But let's say now, because they are laughing and joking a bit more, it's nice to see Yolande back. It's nice to see you for who you are and feel a bit, like, unburdened, I guess. It's no longer weighing on her shoulders so heavy. She explains how uncomfortable it was holding it all in, but now they need to move on. Patrick says, I can't move on. Not because I see you any differently, but because it's not right that Pastor Clayton gets to walk free without justice. However, Yolande quickly goes like, yeah, but how many of these cases actually get, like, do you know how many of these cases actually get prosecuted? Very realistic as well. As much as it may be lovely to get that storybook ending, unfortunately, in a lot of these cases, the justice is never served. It's just, you just have to move on. Patrick says he won't force her to do anything she doesn't want to, and she rejects.
Pause it.
Can
you pause it?
Yeah. Yeah. Carrying this on though, Patrick cuts his hand on the glass she threw, and he uses the moment to kind of try and reinforce her in a way. He holds her hands, kisses them, and a fairly sweet and sentimental kind of loving gesture. She explains how when she was younger, she was kind of mortified at like an older person who's still intimate and still like, I guess the word is, I guess intimate is the right word. That's kind of still like, and they describe that, you know, their spark has never gone out. She questions what will happen if if they can never be intimate again. And Patrick nails this line by saying, I will still love you. And it is the most pure bit of this episode. It's the most like, oh, fucking, you know. It's Patrick read the room perfectly and said the perfect thing to reassure Yolande in this situation. And Patrick offers to move away because he can't stay in this place knowing that Pastor Clayton is still wandering around. You know, perhaps Trinidad's who can live out our days in peace. And Patrick explains how he was trying to figure out how to play her favorite music, so maybe she'd feel like herself again, like kind of fucking about a Bluetooth, like struggling with technology, as you'd expect.
Ashley, I reckon that was a shoot. Do you reckon they were like, he can't figure out Bluetooth, let's show him on TV?
I can't imagine him being too good with Bluetooth, no. And, you know, a nice gesture to hope maybe you'll feel like yourself again, listen to some of your favorite music. They reminisce about how they first met, how Yolande asked him for the first dance, and they enjoy the music. And Yolande says, "No, we're staying put. This is our home." She explains how she feels knowing Clayton is walking around is exactly how Patrick felt, like furious, enraged, like mortified at this. And she now feels comfortable going to a member of the church to try and get some action for this, for the injustice. As they cuddle together on the sofa, as we see a lovely picture of Patrick and Yolande happy, seemingly in Trinidad. And we get changed to the usual outro. The song is played "Can't Get By Without You" by The Real Thing, as both Patrick and Yolande are prepared to face this new difficult journey together. That final line stolen from Digital Spy. They put it better than I could. And a really, really strong episode. Probably one of my favorites in the last couple of years, probably in general. It was beat for beat, other than the weird Me Too line, which I feel like a bit of a gammon for being like, "You're bloody outside about Me Too." I feel a bit of a gammon for saying that, but I think we were somewhat reasonable in our description. I felt like we had to address it in some way, because I've seen some people talk about it. Like,
it would feel rude not to kind of discuss, like, not our thoughts, because no one wants to hear our fucking thoughts on Me Too. We're two idiots. But well, I'm an idiot. You're smart. Got to pick up my homie. But it's just it's better to be open with your audience than kind of like, yeah, there was a Me Too line that people didn't like, but have to go.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing it
know?
justice if we didn't talk about it. But just,
Fuck, I shouldn't have done
other than that,
You know?
just continuing the... Yeah, what did you think of the episode as a whole? I thought it was fantastic. Probably one of my favourites of the last couple of years, if not in general. So, what do you think?
It's up there for me because I genuinely like it. I feel like the two people stole the show. They genuinely dealt with all the topics that they had to deal with. And it is nice to see that Patrick was accepting in the end, because this again 5 years ago, he's told about this. He turns in, past fame return from doing some dirty work to actually killing a man. If this was 5 years ago, because he said didn't know how to handle it back then. So
Yeah,
it is
weren't the most subtle. Take
Yeah.
Gray Atkins, for example. Domestic abuser into serial killer. Maybe not the most tonally reasonable or realistic in some way.
And I feel like they did a great job, obviously doing that. I loved Patrick's little shuffle that he was going to do across the square, because it might sound rude, but I do love seeing old people get mad. Because it's very funny, because it reminds me of like 50s cartoons versus
it's not as animated as a younger person getting angry. It's a bit more
because
laboured.
a younger person gets mad. They say the F slur, they might say the N word. In Call of Duty, in a video game, in Minecraft, they might say some things they regret. An old man gets angry. Fuck me, he's gonna have a red face. He's gonna start busting out moves from like his childhood. He's gonna bust out the old pimp slap, the old over the knee spank, the old choke him, the old punch him. So it is nice. Like, it was nice to see Patrick get mad and him being told, "Look, just calm down, mate." I genuinely loved it. It's nice seeing this more nice side of EastEnders.
I think it's also
nice, the right word.
It feels it's that family side, right? It's the family drama type direction that I've been praising Clenshaw for the whole time. It's not criminal. It is criminal act, of course, but it's not like Ben's been taken down by Danny Hardcastle and he has to reclaim his family to save the day. It is that more down to earth but still serious, genuine, tragic topic. And it is also two actors who, I mean, I think it's Angela Winter is Yolande's actress's name. She was initially axed because they went, "We just don't have anything for you. We're out of storylines for you." And even, I don't remember what's Patrick's actor's name. I know his last name is Rudolph. But Patrick's actor, what's his actual name? Rudolph Walker. My bad. Rudolph Walker. Hell of a name, bud. Both of the actors had a really good job, and once again, it's characters who, in a lesser time of the show, wouldn't have ever had this spotlight, and I'm really happy that they got this space and this room, because two-handers aren't fucking given to everyone. It's a big honor to carry an episode, and I think it's a sign of the Crenshaw vision of EastEnders, where even these what some may see as lesser characters, how many storylines of Patrick and Yolande had between them over the last several years, got given this time and this respect and this just a different take on sexual assault. It's just really impactful and heartwarming in some ways, heartbreaking in others. Just really good stuff, and I'm very happy that we got to see this and watch this and experience this, because I don't think I've ever seen a soap kind of do something like it in this way. So full credits to the actors, the writers, the directors, and all the producers and everybody who worked on the episode. It's really well done, and just full credit. Also, like how I don't think they necessarily. I don't think the way I'll describe it is I don't think they made anything. I don't think they tried to tone down like their accents or anything. I don't think they tried to like simplify it so people may misunderstand. It was written as two people from are they both from Trinidad in like story. That's their accent and dialect.
Like, obviously, like, I'm just gonna say it, like, I couldn't understand some lines that was being said, but I understood the tone. Like, obviously, people who watch us probably understand Ash, because he's a sexy Englishman with his lovely voice. I think you hear him going, "How's you going, pal? How's you fucking going? Would you like some chips?" Like, so obviously it's harder to understand me, so I understand from, like, that it might be harder for people to understand Patrick and Yolande. Like, I'm just being honest, like, I couldn't really understand them for some scenes, because when they were speaking quietly, of course, my hearing's a bit bad. So I was just like, what? But that didn't take away from the episode, generally didn't.
Yeah, like, and I will say, I like how, it's like, the way we can describe it is like when a wrestler has an accent, and we take the piss out of like the Scottish wrestlers, where instead of actually speaking like a Scottish person, they'll have to say it as clear and as like, it's like, instead of Scottish person be like, hello everyone, and then like the R's are rolled, but like it was trying to dumb it down for like an American audience, be like, hello. It's like, it's very slow, very. It wasn't like toned down, I will say.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a risk when you're, because. Well, Yolande's actress is Jamaican. Patrick's actor is from Trinidad, just like the character. So, like I said, it's not like dumbing down the speech for silly English people, and I like that touch.
I love the way you've put that, silly English people. I like that.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, this accent, I don't understand this accent. It's like, fucking come on, or this dialect.
Yeah, you have to be. It is funny though when you're gonna get like, because there is gonna be the comments like, I just don't understand why they gave these two people a spotlight episode. I can't bloody understand them. Like, cause it will be funny looking at those comments, to me at least. It's like, yeah, mate, yeah, you can talk with your fucking Birmingham accent. You know what I mean?
Just open your fucking eyes, those people. But regardless, I think we've kind of, before we veer off topic.
Just to wrap it up, it's like the people who complain about Ireland, which like, these bloody people coming in from other countries don't speak Ireland's language. And then obviously you have people like my dad going, okay, what's Ireland's national language? Irish. And do we speak Irish? Well, that's not the bloody point. And it's like, well, then you're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just that it's always funny. Like,
it's people don't understand they're hypocrites until directly confronted with it, and it's quite ridiculous. But carrying it on though, all in all, credits to everyone. It was a fantastic episode. It's one that I don't think I'll forget. It's just really, really fucking good, and they nailed just about everything. But the afterwards is Yolande. The day after is going to go speak to the church. The tragic irony is we obviously know how the conversations with the church have gone till this point, with all the women talking to the church, and then Clayton gets moved to a different parish, or they go, yeah, well, maybe we don't recommend you actually seeking out justice here. Maybe you just shut the fuck up about it. It's that really harrowing, like, maybe it just won't work for you. Maybe you're the problem here. And it's like, what do you fucking mean? Of course I'm not fucking... I didn't do anything. But yeah, point being, it's that tragic irony because, like I said, we knew how the other woman were treated, so we can hope that Yolande is treated with more like severity. We hope that it's taken seriously, but history suggests that it's probably going to go the same way. She's invited Levi to discuss the pastor. He says he seems very understanding and open about it. He says, "I'll put a call into my superiors right away, and I will do everything I can." And Patrick's quite hasty though. He wants to know when action will happen, and they both seem optimistic that something will happen soon. But Patrick kind of pressures Levi, like, when are you gonna fucking do something? All right, it's a very serious thing. And he's like, "I've done all I can." He's like, "That's not fucking enough, is it?" Who tells Yolande, and later on, Patrick confronts the pastor in front of his group. He reaches over the counter, grabs him by the collar. But Yolande stops him. Patrick dubs him a dead man walking. And Yolande knows how bad this could be for the investigation. Says, Clayton's slippery. He could, use this as ammunition. He could, take you down with this. And then proceeds to say, "You can't handle your temper. Maybe it's best you go for a while." And then Patrick simply calms down a bit, apologizes, and says, "Look, all right, we've done all we can for now. Why don't we go away for a few weeks? Why don't we, try and forget not forget what's happened here, but why don't we try to, we've done all we can here, so let's not spend every day reliving it. Let's go away for a few weeks." And that is how this segment ends. I think we...
Do want to say, I do love how Patrick was going to, or Yolande was going to do the Howie treatment, where it's like, "Get out of your house. But I'm still going to live here rent-free, thanks. And eat your food." Like, we've dubbed it the Howie, where it's like, "I fucking hate you, Kim. I fucking hate you. Oh, but can I stay here? And can I eat your food? And just be up in the grill?"
They are equal partners.
Yeah, they are equal partners.
But yeah, I think, all in all, I think it's a really good week of EastEnders. I think that the episode's definitely made people talk about it, and I think it serves the purpose. And like I said, if there were any awards being given out, if the Soap Awards were here, this storyline would have absolutely fucking cleaned up. It's tremendous stuff. It proves that even though it may not be, you may not look at Patrick and Yolande as like, oh, these can be a leading story, like a story leads. Like, they fucking nailed it so far. It's been really, really good. So yeah, good stuff. I don't want to dwell on too much longer. We're not going to do the awards this time. We'll just let it all speak for itself. But yeah, just your immediate thoughts about the week of EastEnders, mate.
Loved it. This week was definitely carried by Yolande and Patrick. They did a great job with the two-hander. I was confused. I thought they were getting 2 episodes. They only got 1. Did love them just leaving Denzel behind again. We'll
figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's fine.
I do know, if the quote Ash is like kid in the suitcase, kid with his suitcase, just like, "Oh, maybe this time someone will stay with me." He's just like, guess it's back to protein.
Yeah.
I guess it's back to protein for me. Of course, did love Patrick, getting granddad mad, because it is funny. But it's not funny because you ever seen an old man get mad, you're fucked. Well, unless you're Conor McGregor, then you can knock them out. But like, it's just it was funny. I know it's not supposed to be funny, but that was a bit of funny. Did love him throttling like Pastor Clayton, because it's the kind of thing that people don't realize is if you're doing this storyline, there has to be a good and there has to be an evil. Because I know wrestling bringing it up again. It's like we've watched wrestling for like over 10 years, so like we obviously know like storytelling can't just be. It can be a good guy versus a good guy. But are you going to be more invested in, oh, this is a good guy versus a bad guy? Or are you going to be more invested in, I want to beat you. Why do you want to beat me? Because I'm better than you.
It's a lot easier to root for someone who's suffered tragedy rather than someone who's causing pain.
Exactly.
The simple way I'd describe it. And obviously, we want to see Yolande get justice. And at least the good thing about it being a soap is I really doubt that we're not going to see Pastor Clayton face justice for his actions. They built him up to be like a prolific serial offender with multiple women, multiple victims. It feels like the ending to this story has to be with Pastor Clayton at least getting like some comeuppance for his actions.
Yeah, it's very much the fact that people might get mad at it, but it's like, why can't we just have a happy ending? Because life, like, we're not. I don't care if we get mad at this. We're not Americans. We don't. Let's be honest. Our comedy and our dramas are very real, for most of the time, realistic. Like, because you look at the UK soaps and you look at like UK comedy shows, like that famous one, The Office, the UK Office, or like Afterlife that Ricky Gervais also did. It's depressing. Like it's not a fun environment.
A lot of the jokes are in the cynicism and kind of laughing at how shit the situation can be. That's like a coping mechanism type deal.
And that's why I like soaps, because now this might sound sinister, but I don't care. Would you rather Yolande immediately get her reward, which is she gets justice, or would you rather a battle where Pastor Clayton's going, well, actually, she came on to me, so it's not really my fault.
I mean, it's something, like I said, I mean, all stories need a beginning, a middle, and the end. You can't just jump to the end just because it hurts to get through. Like, ultimately, the struggle and the struggles and the issues along the way are what makes the ending feel a lot more satisfying.
Yeah,
and that's why soaps are really good for it, because it's a long-running serial. It's a long-term medium that you watch constantly, and things may progress slowly, but fundamentally you are getting in most instances a genuinely satisfying conclusion.
Yes, unless you're 2020 EastEnders, so like your domestic abuser, Gray Atkins, he's gonna murder you instead of abusing you. So. Yeah, I would. Please don't bring back 2020 EastEnders. Yeah. I don't want the logic of I'm your abuser, and you know what I'm going to turn into? A serial killer. It's like, okay, you're jumping the gun a little bit.
But I think with that all said, I think that's everything done for the Watching Walford podcast, episode 71. Honestly, I think it somehow went longer than the original one we did. But we tried to cover everything in as much detail as it needs. But yeah, we won't be doing awards, as we don't really want to overshadow. Well, it will never overshadow the fucking stuff we talked about, but still, give it as much time and the space it deserves to thrive. Thank you all for watching the Watching Walford podcast, episode 71 in the can. We are relatively close to 100, which was a milestone I never thought we'd got to. We still have a decent chunk to go, like. But
you mean 1,000?
No, just 100. Small
100.
Yeah, like 100 Watching Walford podcasts.
Oh, right. I thought you were saying 100 subs. I was like,
I say that we aren't going to get there till like the end of the year, probably. So, like, we definitely won't. It's just how weeks work. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope we didn't step on any toes or say anything untoward. Make sure to join us in the next one. Hopefully this one doesn't corrupt. Thank you for watching. Join us next time. See you then. Bye-bye.